Welcome back to the Football Terrace. France 1, Germany 0. An own goal from Matt Hummels, but an inspired, wonderful, brilliant, world-class key pass in the build-up to that game from Paul Pogba. Split Germany in two. It provided the opening. Matt Hummels, in fairness, the whole German team in their build-up to that goal, their defending was atrocious. Rüdiger running around doing I don't know what. Too many players left free, too much space open. And France are too good not to punish you. The remainder of the game, Germany become the aggressors, especially in the second half. They played a lot of good football, but it was friend zone. No clinical edge up front. Final ball's not good enough. When they did have the opportunities, they didn't pull the trigger. And then on top of that, defensively excellent. Raphael Varane Kimpembe, brilliant. N'Golo Kante put in another performance tonight. It may be the first game of the group stages, but it was France-Germany. And Kante again putting in a performance which warrants people recommending him and touting him to win the Ballon d'Or because he was absolutely sensational. We will be putting the poll up later to vote for your man of the match. If you get your super chat in and guess who my man of the match is, your name will go into the prize draw. No one guessed with the super chat my man of the match from last night, by the way. A few people said it was Olsen. I actually gave it to Isak. I thought it was excellent for Sweden yesterday. As it were. So tonight, guess my man of the match and get yourselves on. We'll be doing calls later. We'll be getting the panel on a little bit later on as well to kind of have a bit of a review of round one. A little bit of a review of round one of the group stages. Who's impressed you, who's been underwhelming. Make sure like buttons are being hit and that you're subscribing as well. But as I was saying, in the second half, they huffed and they puffed, but they couldn't blow the French door down. Kylian Mbappe, unlucky not to have a goal and an assist. I say unlucky, marginally offside in the build-up to both goals. And I always get frustrated with any player in the world who's given offside when they have the speed and the acceleration of an Mbappe, of a Rashford. You don't need to be. It was a little frustrating to see him just offside because it could have been a 2-0 game, 2-0 or a 3-0 game. Germany, in all intents and purposes, I don't think they would have scored if this game went on for another 45 minutes, another hour, another day, another week. They just looked limp in that area of the field. And when you're having to bring on Timo Werner, that was anonymous when he came on, it's very, very difficult indeed. But listen, I think France will be happy with their opening game performance. There's some good moments. There's some areas for them to improve on. But they've got more than 2 or 3 gears up that this French team can go. Germany, I'm intrigued to see what comes next from them. I'm truly intrigued to see what comes next for them in the group stages in terms of how they perform, what they're going to do. Hungary are going to be hard to break down. Portugal are going to be hard to break down. Are they going to be able to score the goals? I just don't know. But the first big question of the night for you all, though, we've got the poll running right now. The poll's running right now. Did Antonio Rüdiger bite Paul Pogba? I need to ask that question because for me, it looked like a bite. Some will say it was a nibble. Some will say it was playful. If it is a bite, is there the possibility that he gets a ban now? I've already seen a lot of Liverpool fans talk about 10-game bans on socials, but I wanted to gauge your opinion at the Football Terrace. You might think there was nothing in it, and it's a nothing moment. Some people might think, actually, it's quite egregious. You shouldn't be doing that. Why is he doing it? It wasn't a deep bite. You could see that. But it looks like he did put his teeth into him. I want your views and your thoughts on that. 59% of the vote so far, 60%, sorry, it's just gone up with the vote, say yes, it was a bite. So I want your views and I want your opinions on that. Make sure like buttons are being hit, share buttons, bell notification, turn that on so you know when we go live at the Terrace. Jerome here with a super chat says, Germany do not have a proper finisher, but they were excellent in the second half and France were very pragmatic in this game. Well, in fairness, when you speak to a lot of people about France, they'll tell you that they're not this team who is sort of like scintillating to watch every moment of the game. Kind of, if we look at a club level, they're not like City or Barcelona of 10 years ago. It is far more pragmatic. Yes, they play 4-3-3 today, but in large parts of the game, they sit with 2 of their midfielders are nearly always sitting if one goes forward. At times, not always. Paul Pogba was very deep and central at times in the second half. It's how they play. But why not when you have one of the fastest football players in the world on your side, especially if you're a goal up? There's no need to be overly expansive in your attack, I don't think. We had another super chat here. This is from Adrian, who says, Chelsea have agreed personal terms with Haaland, but it's now they just need to agree the fee with Borussia Dortmund. I know that that's transfer talk. We touched on that. We didn't say on the Done Deal show earlier on today that personal terms were agreed in that way. And I suppose personal terms are agreed, but not in the conventional sense, not in an official sense. They're agreed how Jadon Sancho's have been. Haaland's camp have said, this is how much we want to be paid. Chelsea have said, okay, we'll pay it. That is for me. That is agreeing terms. Have they been formally signed and signed off? No. Chelsea have just agreed to pay Haaland the wages he's requested, which is gargantuan, over £500,000 a week. We've got the episode 3 of the Done Deal show on Thursday morning. An amazing, highly credible journalist. I'm not going to reveal who yet is going to be on with us for that. So tune in. That'll be 9 a.m. live on Thursday morning. So stay with the Football Terrace. We're going to start going to some calls in a minute. I want your views and your opinions on that. Keep your super chat guesses coming in for my man of the match as well. It might just shock you who I've picked. Suarez, Diego Costa, and now Rüdiger, the biting trio is what Aaron has got to say here. World champions parking the bus against Germany. Wow, showing how good they are. I'll let the viewers decide on that one. Need to see a replay. Didn't look good on the initial look in relation to the Rudiger when he got the old gnashers out. When he got them gnashers out, maybe. Werner was the flop of the game. Interesting take, that one. Interesting take. Germany being written off, I think you mean, by everyone. And they stood up to France, feet to feet today. Wasn't for the own goal. They would have drawn the game because Germany can keep the ball. Listen, were Germany awful? No. Will Germany get out the group stages? Highly likely. If Germany don't start scoring goals, and this isn't just now, this was what was being banded about before. They scored 30-odd goals in the qualifiers, which was great. That was like 19, 18 months ago. Since then, goals for Germany have started to dry up. I'm just going by what I've seen German press talk about, German fans say. Tonight, they looked toothless when they got to that part of the pitch. Can they turn it around? Yes, they're Germany. They have we said like it's in the Tottenham history. It's in the German history to deliver, especially in knockout stages. Should they be written off? No. Right now, do I look at them as a team to be absolutely fearful of? No. Another super chat here says, Terry, Ronaldo cost Coca-Cola $4 billion in 5 seconds, and they've released a statement on it. Did they? I suppose they're sponsors, right? So did he actually do like a don't drink this, drink water? Someone said he did that. Now, I haven't seen whether he did. Yeah, if you're a sponsor and someone does that to your product and you've paid, like Coca-Cola have probably spent so many millions of pounds on that. And then Ronaldo is like, don't drink it, drink water instead. It's amazing, though. Do you know how good Coca-Cola's branding is and marketing? They have convinced the world that drinking a very sugary, very unhealthy brown liquid is great. Think of it. Bad for you. Makes you unhealthy. Right? It's brown liquid, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's amazing!" Like, think about it. Listen, that's why I love companies like that to a degree, because I just think you've convinced the world of this. Give a child fizzy drink for the first time and see the reaction. It's like, oh, it doesn't even feel that good the first time you have it. Do you know what I mean? It's like alcohol, to be fair. When you first drink it when you're younger, it don't taste too good. You almost force yourself into liking it. I'm just saying. Anyway, we digress. Varane was my man of the match, showed his class. Listen, Varane looked amazing. Man United, spend the money. I know he wants to live in France. Private jet to and from the training ground every day. Do it. Come on, Joel Glazer, you said you love us. Spend it on a private jet for Raphael Varane. Jem calling him a pace merchant. My days. No pace tonight. He sat back. Griezmann man of the match is what Eamon has got to say here. We've got super chats flying in aplenty now. Hamid, sorry, not Hamid first. Ryan says, Ryan Madden, how you doing, mate? Long time no see. Need to get you back on here. Need some more Spurs opinions on here recently. It's gone a little bit quiet. He says, your man of the match, I think, is Griezmann. His work rate was exceptional tonight. Big up, Terry, and the Football Terrace. Thank you, Ryan, my guy. As a Liverpool fan, I expect a minimum 10-game ban and a swift condemnation from everybody. But we can talk about Havertz's lack of upper body strength. So weak is what Hamid said. Well, we're going to go to the calls very, very soon indeed. 10-game ban for Rüdiger. Can't see it myself. You've got to remember with Luis Suarez, wasn't that like when he bit Chiellini? Wasn't that like the third time he bit someone? Definitely the second, because I know he bit somebody when he was at Ajax. So maybe it was like an accumulative thing. Do you know what I mean? A bit like if you get done for your third burglary, you get longer in prison than someone who does one burglary. Do you know what I mean? Not that I've been to prison for burglary. In fact, not that I've done burglary. I've not committed that crime. In fact, I've not committed any crime. I promise. I'm just saying. And someone clips up. Oh, Terry burgled houses. No. I did steal a chocolate bar from my nan's pantry. She scared me. She came in. God rest her soul. Honest to God, like my dad's told me off. My mum and dad have told me off before. I kind of like brushed that off. When my nan told me off, I was scared and upset that I disappointed her at the same time. You know, like that era of grandparent born before World War II. It just hits differently when they tell you off. They're physical, but without being nasty. Yeah, R.I.P. Nan. She let me eat the chocolate bar later as well. She's a good woman. Right. Let's go to the calls now. We're going to get the first French fan of the night on. He's from Canada. He lives in England. But for some reason, randomly, he chose to support the best team in the world. It's Man Lucky Gal. What you saying, buddy?
When I started to support this team, they never had anything. They did not have any stars on their first kit that I had. When I first had a kit, they had 0 stars on their shirt. That chicken had no stars. In my lifetime, this shirt has gone from 0 stars to having 2 stars and having €2. No, €1. My bad. One euros in my lifetime. So there you go. And we've also gone to a World Cup without going to a World Cup. So hey, as much as you want to laugh, if England won 1 World Cup and 1 Euros, you'd be on our level.
Absolutely. I agree. France are a better international nation than my country. I can't deny it because we won more trophies. And they won the main trophies. What did you make of your performance tonight?
Overall, I felt like this is what we're going to get when you face 2 nations that are tough. England, Germany, Portugal, any team that you face in this tournament that's a big team, you're gonna see these kind of performances. And France today, you've seen Mbappe's pace, you've seen his power, his precision, you've seen the midfield pivot, probably one of the best midfield pivots in the game, and how even in a game that they did not have full control of, you felt like they were letting Germany do what they were doing. They were letting them have possession at times and just sitting back and relaxing. And every time that the counter was on, Mbappe was around that corner. Every time Pogba got the ball in a progressive third, you've seen that they were getting in behind. And 2 of those goals that were offside. And another day, if they held their run or Pogba gave the ball quicker in the first touch to Mbappe, you would have had the second goal. You could have had a third goal. But at the same time, Germany let themselves down. And I don't care that they let themselves down, but they let themselves down. Serge Gnabry had an easy chance. He could have scored in the opening minutes. You had a shot from just 2 yards, 6 to 7 yards out from Gundogan. So they did have chances. But at the end of the day, I'm just going to take the win. And I'm not going to be surprised if the same thing happens against Portugal. And even the Hungary game, if it's not it has to be a convincing win. But the Portugal game, these are knockout tournaments. You just have to win the games that are in front of you. The fashion that you win it in doesn't mean a thing if at the end of the day you win the World Cup or you win the Euros.
Of course. And the opening game, I don't think we should be writing too many teams off. Although we had one caller yesterday, I don't remember who it was, said that Spain are definitely not contenders. Equally, it was you. I was you. Do you know what? I take so many calls, I sometimes forget who said what. But we know how good France are, and I think France were a 7 out of 10 tonight for their standards and whatnot. On Paul Pogba, though, I thought personally, out of this world tonight, demonstrated why he's one of the best midfielders why he's the best playmaking midfielder in the world tonight. That pass for the opening goal was out of this world. Key passes matter. Absolutely. How important is Paul Pogba going to be in his partnership with N'Golo Kante for yourselves winning your 2nd European Championship?
Put this on a notebook, put this in a book, put this in history. These 2 are probably the 2 best This is the best pivot in world football by far. France have the best pivot in world football. I don't care if they're whatever formation they're playing in. Those two in the midfield, any midfield, they put any midfield against them. Those two are unbeaten. Conte, one of the best midfielders in the world. Pogba, one of the best midfielders in the world. When you play them together, you see how good they are. And this is why Paul Pogba for France and Paul Pogba for Manchester United are two completely different animals. Because what he's asked to do, he's asked to pick the ball up from deep and play for Manchester United at times. Where France, he can pick up the ball up higher up the pitch, defend, win the ball back high up the pitch, and immediately spray a ball to somebody else who has the quality to put it under control, get it into dangerous areas. And that wasn't the only time. Conte did it earlier in the game where he found Pavard for a cutback. So with these two guys in the midfield, you're not going to be surprised. You're going to see these performances from Pogba more often in these France games. And if it wasn't for a split hair, he would have had another key pass. If only he touched it and took that first touch instead of taking it under control and making the second pass. He would have done it quicker. He would have had two key passes and we would have had 2 goals.
No doubt about it. He has been also officially named as the official man of the match of the game, and I think he thoroughly deserved it. And I where I disagree with you slightly is I saw the Paul Pogba tonight that I see for Man United. Yes, there was a few mistakes, a few times he gave the ball away in his own half, but that's what a progressive player like him does. He's always thinking forward. He's always backing himself to do the right thing. That attitude and mentality is what leads to those amazing passes that open teams up. But it's about quality. And of course, in this French side, he is receiving the ball from and passing the ball more regularly to higher quality personnel than he's had at Manchester United. And you surround him with better quality, he looks better. Do you know what I mean? I think that if you stuck all these French players in the Man United squad, Man United would be better. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. It's one of them ones. Listen, we'll get you back on with the panel a bit later because we're going to review round 1, my guy. Thanks for coming on. We'll get you back on in a second. Top man. Next on the show, make sure like buttons are being hit. People's going to be man like Daniel. Daniel hasn't been on for a while. Be good to catch up. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I've been away on work, but obviously I'm back now. Doing well. Hope you're doing well as well, man.
Yes, I'm good, brother. I'm good. Congratulations, by the way. I did see your announcement on Twitter over the last week.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. It's going well, man. Doing well.
Good. What do you make of the game tonight?
France didn't get out of top gear. Or bottom gear, or whatever you want to call first gear. I think France coasted through that. Clive Tilsley actually made a great point that obviously both teams prior to the game were probably looking at it like, I don't really want to lose this game. It's the first game. I know it's a big game between two big nations, but especially because Portugal have won, let's not try and lose. And France went 1-0. I actually think France wouldn't have minded Germany scoring if that makes sense, because they knew they had that option. So they sat back a bit and said, you lot come onto us, we're going to counter-attack now. And that's what they did. They executed their plan perfectly. Germany, like you said, I agree with you. That game could have gone on twice. Two lots of 90 minutes. They were not scoring. They actually weren't scoring. The people are going to point to individual performance, but I actually think their system as a whole isn't great when they face good opposition. So that's something that Joachim Löw is going to have to deal with. Obviously, there's a reason why he's being pushed out as well. I think his ideas are a bit run down now. You see now, he's not even sure what his best lineup is. This the third time he's using the back three in the last 5 games, something like that. Just listening to the stats and whatnot. So yeah, man, they're a bit of a confused team, and I actually think they're in a spot of bother because their next game is Portugal. They categorically can't lose that game, as in they just can't lose that game because who's to say them beating Hungary by 6-0 necessarily makes them one of the best third place teams, because obviously who knows what might happen in another group where teams might get 3 points and then 1 point. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it seems if you get 3 or 4 teams that get 4 points, then they are out, and it makes the next round, which we'll review a little bit later, very, very interesting. In terms of France, you mentioned they didn't get out of first gear, and I completely agree. We saw how good Kante was again today. Mbappe was a little bit unlucky. I thought a little bit sloppy myself in terms of his runs. Any player, we moan at Rashford all the time in the Prem. It's why are you offside when you're as fast as you are? It's Werner. It's just stupid. You don't need to go there early. Obviously, Paul Pogba, though, wins the man of the match. What did you make of sort of his performance tonight?
I agree with you when you say I saw Man United Paul Pogba, but the thing that I want to maybe correct you on when you were saying to Igao is that it's not about necessarily the quality, it's the partner that he has. It's Kante. I actually think Pogba was the man of the match. Obviously, the same way you were doing Bruno and Ronaldo prop, I was doing a lot of Kante prop, annoying a lot of people on Twitter today. But like, I think Pogba, the reason why he can take those risks, because he sees who he's got behind him and he's like, do you know what? He's gonna clean it up for me. Like, I'm like, Kante is so, like, he's so good that it's actually, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, you can call me a Kante sexual. Like, I don't even mind. Kante is top draw, top quality player. I hope he wins the Ballon d'Or. I know people are saying he'll lose credibility and whatnot. I just want to see him win the Ballon d'Or. It'll just be great to see him. But Pogba was great. Pogba was great. Deserves man of the match. But he can't do what he does without Kante. And I made a tweet. I literally said, Kante has had 4 different partners that he's won titles with throughout his career. Danny Drinkwater, Nemanja Matic, Paul Pogba, and Jorginho. 4 very different midfielders. But it just goes to show you why he's winning these titles. He makes these guys thrive. He makes them excel. He makes them express themselves. He made Danny Drinkwater look like great. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Pogba was great, but okay. I mean, he was top quality again, man.
Yeah, do you know, I think it is with what I love about Kante is, it's going to sound harsh, but I actually mean this as an amazing bit of praise. It's like nothing he does is spectacular in terms of aesthetically pleasing on the eye. He doesn't pull off that pass that Pogba did. He doesn't do the skills to the disallowed Mbappe goal as an example. And of course, he's got a good pass and he's got a very good touch. But it's the effortlessness of what he does, how much time he gets. You think he's not going to be there and he pops up. There was a moment in, I want to say it was the first, no, I think it was the second half, where he makes an interception and passes the ball. Somebody else loses it. Germany play it out wide to the right, and who is it? Then it's him. Again, yeah. And then Ali, you could tell Ali McCoy was old tonight.
They loved him. They were loving him off tonight. I even agree. They were giving him extra praise, but I can't complain, man. That's my guy.
Exactly. Look how old Ali McQuest is. He come out with the whole, he goes, I was talking to Emmanuel Petit the other day, and he said there's a French saying about the 70% water and 30% of the earth is covered by. And I thought, bruv, that's been a joke for 5 years on Twitter. You can tell this man ain't been on Twitter. You know what I mean? I ain't even nowhere. But yeah, last night. One question for you, though.
Yeah.
I know he's a guy, Rüdiger. Was he lucky not to get punished for biting Pogba?
100%. I said it. I don't know what he was doing, but do you know what it is? It's something that you said. Guys have reputations. I don't like Rudiger's aggressive. Like, you saw what he did to KDB as well. I think there was a bit of like he did it on purpose about it, but like he just gets away with it. Like, and that's the same thing. Think about it like this: Suarez does that, everyone's going mad. Rudiger did it, and everyone's laughing. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's literally the reputation thing, man. It's literally that.
Yeah, it's a character thing. Referees are like that. I remember listening to John Fashanu. You're old enough to remember who John Fashanu.
Yeah.
And you know what he used to do? He used to get the club, find out who the referee was, and he'd do research through talking to X, Y, and Z. Right, it's John Mariner. It wouldn't have been in them days, but let's say it's John Mariner, the ref. What's his wife's name? Her name's Sandra. What's his kids called? And at school, college, he'd learn all this stuff, and then in the build-up to the game, be like, "Oh, how's Sandra? Oh, how's little Johnny getting on at Scouts?" So he'd do it all. And then his first tackle of the game, he said, "I always got like a don't do that again because I made friends." I'm like, character build. I was like, "That's amazing." And it goes, "I did it." So my first hard tackle, I wouldn't get booked on. I was like, that's amazing. That's an amazing story. Bro, we'll get you back on with the panel soon, my guy. Cheers, Danny. Thank you very much, mate. Next up on the show, Ram is with us. Ram, what you saying, buddy?
Not too bad. It was a pretty boring game, but individual brilliance comes out at its finest. We talk about individual brilliance. Every team needs it. And one player decides to do something incredible and they end up scoring. So it's how the game works. Simple as that.
This is the history of football.
It's the history of football. I quite a lot of the call have been talking about France. I want to talk about Germany a little bit more. Mm-hmm. For me, I'll start off with Joachim Löw. I think he had a shocking game tactically. The substitutions that he made, bringing on Kevin Volland, who's a striker, playing like left wing back. I don't know what he's doing there. If you look at, I felt so sorry for the likes of Muller and Kimmich. They tried their hardest to do something, but just everyone else was not in gear. You look at the past strikers that they have, like Klose, Muller, Bierhoff. You have Werner and Volland. The level has seriously dropped for Germany. And for someone like a Muller who wants to thrives off the likes of incredible strikers, you need one, and Germany just don't have one, and that's going to be their downfall. We saw it with Chelsea, like they haven't had a lot of clinical strikers. This is going to be the same thing with Germany. They don't have a clinical striker. Also, I think go on.
Did you say the game was boring?
It was a bit. It was a bit. Not much was really going. Not much was really going on. There was not any clinical chances. Just moments. But compare it to the Netherlands game and the Portugal game was a bit better. I think it was a bit because you think about Germany, France. I expected a little bit more.
Okay.
But I can't ask for too much.
So, what's your thoughts on Germany progressing?
I think they'll progress. It's the history of Germany. They will pull something out of the bag, and I think they might take the third place spot. They'll be one of the top teams for the third place spots, and I think they will go into the quarterfinals. I think that's guaranteed for them. No matter how bad they've been, they will go through. They will go through.
I hear that. And Rüdiger, we've asked everybody this tonight. Lucky to stay on the pitch. Do you think he could face a ban afterwards? Because it depends. I think as Daniel said, it doesn't feel like the world's hunting him down. I've seen a few people tweeting about it, and I'm sure in Germany, if I was to change my trending page, like location to Munich or Berlin, there might be more. If I was to change it to France, maybe there's more people talking about it. They wouldn't be speaking about it in Germany, would they? He is German. Do you think he was lucky?
Yeah, definitely. Look, it's not nice to see anything like that, and it's incredibly unhygienic to see those kind of things. You know what I'm saying? But look, it's like what Daniel said. He doesn't have a history of this. Like you're saying, like Luis Suarez, he got banned 3 times with the biting thing. So it just tallies up. I think there will be a minor ban, but I don't think it's going to be anything major, honestly.
It's going to be an interesting one. Listen, Ram, we'll get back on with the panel soon, mate. Top man. Thank you. Viewers, hit the like button, share button, retweet button right now. David's with us next. I'm not sure if David's going to consider himself German or English tonight. I'm not too sure. He fluctuates like the British weather, if we're being honest. But David's here. What are you saying, mate?
I've got the shirt as well. So yeah.
You're an Englishman wearing a Germany kit.
Yeah,
come on.
I was giving it, so I was like, I'm not gonna not wear it. Like, it's a gift, isn't it? So
I'd rather be given commitment than wear Germany top, mate. I tell you that.
But yeah, no, Germany just lack a striker. They just lack any attacking like impotent. That's it. Just nothing. There's nothing there. They're really good at getting the ball to the box, but there's just no one there to like really like convert the chances. When you play a front three of like Gnabry, Havertz, and who's the other? Who have I forgotten the other person? Gnabry, Havertz, and Muller. You're effectively playing with like sort of like 2 false nines playing out a bit wide, and then a winger who's playing up front. It's all a bit messed up right now because he doesn't really know what his best like forwards are. But the forwards that came on didn't like come on and show that, oh yeah, I should be starting in this position. So I think that's going to be a slight problem. I reckon next game he might try a 4 just because he keeps switching formation, keeps switching out players, trying to find out what best suits this group. Because I think defensively they're not too bad, especially if Germany had got the first goal. I think defensively you would have seen them be a lot better. Obviously, being a goal down, you've got to step up, and against this France team, one of the worst things you can do is leave them on the break because they're literally like a Man United side, but they'll just counter you all day long. Like,
yeah, they did. And do you know what? There's 2 goals they scored in the counter that were given offside. There was another counter that we haven't really spoke about yet. Matt Hummels recovers, makes a tackle, does get his foot on the ball, but he goes through the back of Mbappe. Do you think Germany got away with one there?
No, I looked at it and went clean tackle, but I'm a defender, so I always give like defenders the benefit of the doubt over the attacker. Like it was very close. It was very close, but I'd say Hummels did well considering how fast Mbappe caught him to actually even keep up in the first place. I was very shocked by because I thought you'd just run around him and slot it home. But yeah, Germany, they lost 1-0, but it's not a bad loss. You know, there'll be positives that you can take out the game. They held the ball quite well. They did create the chances. They just didn't finish the chance. There was one shot by Kroos that was actually going in, and then Gozens blocked it, but probably would have been ruled out from VAR anyway because Gozens, like, need Pavard in the head. So,
yeah. There wasn't that clear-cut chance for Germany, though, where, well, there was one, Gundogan had a good chance in the first half that I think he follows wide, but there wasn't that, you didn't break France down once. So although there is an element of toothless up front, Havertz was in the main creator role. There wasn't very much. There was barely any width until maybe the 60th, 70th minute, and then there wasn't too much happening. Of course, Kimmich was... A lot of people. I read today that the Germans public are very.
They want him in mid. They want him in mid. They want him in midfield. Yeah,
midfield. So there's a lot to be desired now. It's going to be interesting to see the next game, as Daniel said, and we'll touch on it more in the review later. It's against Portugal. It's going to be an interesting one. But and just quickly on official man of the match, Paul Pogba today. How good was he?
I thought he was quite good. I think you are overrating it a little bit because just okay. Firstly, from what I've seen, right. Like from what I've seen from people, I think it's been overrated just a little bit. I thought Kante was personally better than him, but I guess I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it through Chelsea eyes rather than through United eyes. I thought the pass was really good. However, he should if his touch is better, he would have had another chance. And he lost the ball quite a lot as well in crucial positions. He's just very lucky that Germany have no one who can score the ball right now because Havertz does the same thing for Chelsea. However, when he does it, they tend to score quite a lot, so he gets you lose the ball in really bad areas. Pogba has it, but it's not as bad. You even heard it in the commentary. They're like, "Oh my god, he plays so much different in that blue shirt." And I'm like, "Not really. He's kind of the same. I haven't really seen much different, but
I didn't see anything different in terms of better quality around him. But it was Paul Pogba you saw the best and the worst of Pogba at times. He does have a habit of losing the ball in his own half, but I get why he does it. And I said this about Bruno earlier on today. Bruno is what Bruno is. He's never going to play like Zidane. But I don't want Bruno to. I want somebody else to do that. Bruno is that goal scoring sort of clutch player in a team. And I think Pogba did an interview where he spoke about how he wants to be further forward and he wants to score and create more goals. But what the most impressive part of the interview was, but you play where your team needs you because that's the most important thing, the team. And that's another one of those moments where you just say, Paul Pogba isn't this quote unquote virus that people make him out to be. David, we'll get you back on with the panel in a few moments' time, mate. Top man, thank you. We're going to be reviewing the first round of games. We want to just assess who's impressed, who's upset, who made you panic, who made you worry. Is it coming home? All the main talking points of the first round of games. Next up, though, we're going to get... He didn't come on after Scotland got slapped yesterday. He was crying somewhere, especially after his team not only got beat at home, they conceded one of the best goals in European football history. Sorry, I had to do it. You're a Scot. And for this next few weeks, you're the enemy, my bro. Man like Conroy is here. What are you saying, mate?
Hey, good, mate. I knew you were going to say that. Genuinely, I've came in when Liverpool got beat by Fulham at home, mate. So I had stuff on yesterday, but... yeah, we'll maybe talk about the Scotland game more later.
Hang on a minute. Where are you? Because you're in a hoodie and a scarf and it's boiling.
No, it's the snood. I'm just in from my work there, and I've been kicked to the kitchen now as well. So
is it cold where you are?
No, it's okay. It's not been roasting today. It's been overcast today. It's not like the Highlands, Terry. It's not Braveheart up here. We're okay.
Man's living in a mountain. He's got to wear a snood in his I love it. What did you make of the game tonight, mate? What did you make of the game?
I enjoyed it, to be honest. I thought it was quite good tactically. I would say, I actually said Germany were dark horses, but I'll be honest, I feel like watching that, they've actually got a lot of potential, but we're talking about great strikers. I don't think they need a great striker. I feel like a Mario Gomez, anybody like that, just a standard, quite a presence in the box, and they've just not got that. Like Volland's not that, and I'll be honest, that obviously we've got a lot of Chelsea fans in the panel watching from a neutral point of view. Kai Havertz must be very frustrating to watch because he got himself in good positions and it was a wrong decision, and I found that quite frustrating. And also on France, Terry, if people are commenting saying France sat back tonight, you've not watched France when they've won the World Cup, because don't think it Argentina 4-3. That's how France play. They've always played like that. Deschamps is renowned for playing, quite defensively. And as you said, why wouldn't you when you've got Mbappe? But that's their formation. And it's when the commentators are saying, oh, Benzema and Griezmann are working hard. Like, you have to work hard to be in his team. I mean, he's notorious for that, and that's why they've been successful, because he gets great players to work in the system well. And I'll be honest, if France had played more expressive, I would have been more hopeful. But after tonight, I feel like France are just going to win it now. I feel like that's maybe them 6 out of 10, maybe 7 out of 10. And as you said, I feel like when they hit, a higher gear, I don't think anybody will be able to stop them, to be honest, mate.
Listen, I fancy Maguire against Mbappe in a foot race. Don't worry about that. I fancy
maybe Kimpembe, mate. For me is their weak link. I feel like someone can get the better of Kimpembe, but the rest of the squad's just outstanding.
You know what's mad about it? When your weakest link is very good, you're fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, I'm splitting hairs when I'm saying that. You know?
No, I hear you. It's do you know what I mean? It's like, do you know what I mean? It's one of them ones. Yeah, I look, France are definitely the front runners. I'm sure we'll get onto that when we review things a little bit later. And you're absolutely right when you speak about Germany. Like, I sometimes feel like I used to watch Spain and feel like this. I used to think, they really miss Messi. I was watching Germany tonight thinking, I bet they wish Lewandowski was German, you know? Like, if it, because it's just, because I don't know, I looked at it tonight. I always think Bayern Munich when I think Germany, and I tend to always think Barcelona when I think Spain. Maybe it's because of recent years and the sort of the volume of players and the style of football being so similar to where the club's team play. And it's mad, really, when you think about it. Like, it shows so evidently that the cycles of football. I implore everyone watching to just. In fact, I'm going to do it. I've got to do it now that I've said it, right? I was looking at this the other day. It was England 1-1 with France. I think it was Euro 2012, right? I was looking at it the other day, and I looked at the team. Now, England's team wasn't particularly, like, great. I started looking at the France team, and to look at the difference. So this was France's team 9 years ago. It shows cycles. Lloris started in goal. He's still there now. Debuchy, Rami, Mexis, and old Evra passed his best in 2012. Like, it was towards the end of his Man United career, but still very good. Say Nasri, Kabak, Ben Arfa came on as a sub. Lassana Diarra, Malouda passed his best. Then they did have Ribéry and Benzema. When he said that out, do you get what I mean? Like, compared to now, it's light and day. In Germany, if you go back, say, 7 years ago when they won the World Cup, that team was scintillating. It had goal scorers, great defenders. I think they've now just got to a point where their best players are past it or retired, and the young ones coming through, you know, like Leroy Sané, I know he had a bad injury 2 years ago, hasn't yet hit the levels internationally that he's meant to. Like Serge Gnabry scored a lot in the qualifiers. What's he doing at international tournaments? That's what I love about football, when you see these cycles. I mean, England, in fairness, we've been on a cycle now since 1966, hopefully.
No, I think you've had a particularly good last couple of years. If you look at your last tournament to the young potential you've got now, they're more than potential, but the squad's ridiculous. See, on Sané, Terry, right? I think he's overthinking his position a bit, and people might say he's played well at right wing, but see, I'm always a Liverpool fan. See, when he was at left wing for Man City, I thought he was terrifying. And I don't know now, do you feel like he's maybe not fulfilling his potential in that sense? Because I feel like if he's a left winger, he's just running to the byline, terrifying people. And I don't know if he has that fear anymore. Maybe it's to do with injury, to be fair. But to me, he was like the most promising young player in the last 5 years. I thought he would hit very high heights.
See, I feel like Sané is one of these players. When I say I'm splitting hairs, I'm talking about the top echelon of players in the world. I'm not comparing him to all professionals. But I feel like, although he's very, very good and his ability and his ceiling is very, very high, I think Sané is one of those players, and I genuinely mean this because he's still quite young. In 8 years' time, you're going to watch a Champions League game against a team you've never heard of, and Sané is going to be there. Like, oh, is that where I think he'll turn into? I think he'll have, if he doesn't improve at Bayern Munich in the next year, 18 months, they'll move him on. They don't hold on to mediocrity for a long, long time. He needs to improve. And if he leaves there, I just think you'll see him just sort of dwindle away. I think he's so talented, but there's something not quite right. You know, Man City.
I agree. Yeah.
Man City tend not to sell their star players. I know he wanted to leave, but why? Because he wasn't being played by Pep Guardiola. You know, Raheem Sterling moved in front of him. Ability-wise, absolutely brilliant. I just don't know how good he is at translating that into consistent high-level performances. And I know he had the major injury when he was at Man City, and he of course he's young and he can turn it around. And I hope he does for himself. But I'm never ever fully convinced by him. In the last 2 years, I've not been convinced by him when I see him play. And I don't know what it is. I don't know because I don't read enough about him. But I watched him when he came on tonight, and I think Ram picked up on it. There was it might be David. There was no kind of fight or push to say you need to start me. It was to get my mate. I don't know.
No, I agree, mate. I think that's summed up perfectly. I felt that because when I used to watch him, the guy just looked like could be a world beater, but looks like it's gone. That momentum definitely doesn't seem to be there anymore.
Yeah, and it happens to players, but he can also actually he's old enough though. He's 25. I wanted to check that, and he can still turn it around. Like he can legitimately. Got to remember, like he did well this year. I think 10 goals in all competitions. I'm looking at. We'll go back to like the 18-19 season. And this kid, starting to score goals. He was creative. That bad injury that took him out the whole of last season, it's had its impact. Let's wait and see what he does next year. Yeah. It could just be a year to get himself back into gear. But it's just something about him I'm not as convinced about. But major injuries can do that. Not everybody is lucky enough to come back from that major injury and continue to progress. Some people that they get it and they're never really the same again afterwards. And fingers crossed. Listen, you had a player like that. Different from Sané at Liverpool. After he snapped his hamstring once, it was a slight dip. By the time he did that second hamstring, Michael Owen was never the same player. He was never quite as good. And it was those injuries. It just took something away from him. And maybe Sané is going through that. And I hope not. I hope that he proves it wrong because he's so talented. But no, I totally agree. We're going to bring the rest of the panel on now. We're going to have a little bit of a review of what's been going on over the course of the Euros so far. Ram is now here and he's back with us to have his say. David's here. Daniel's back. Igao is back as well. Evening, gents. It's kind of nice to have everybody on. In fact, as well, what we'll do here, we've got man like Neeks as well. What we're saying, Jess, nice to have everyone back on. It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Terry, I know one German fan who's probably pissed right now. Gonna express.
I thought you meant David.
David. David's taking L's, man. David, you took an L.
Am I taking L's? I'm a Champions League winner, bro. Relax.
Nah. You took an L against the Netherlands. You took an L today.
How do I take an L against the Netherlands? What are you talking
Wijnaldum, bro. Wijnaldum showing you how quality.
I literally told Terry put Wijnaldum in the team.
The amount of bullcrap you gave him today, I don't care. The amount of bullcrap you gave him the whole season, no. I will never forgive.
Okay.
Yeah, listen, gents. Though we're one round of games in to the Euros. Everyone first question is most important for fans. You all enjoying this tournament?
Yeah.
Watched everything.
Superb, mate. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. Superb.
I've only missed one game as well. I think it was the Slovakia game against Poland.
It's today's game. The one game I missed. Hungary versus Portugal.
Is it just me or is Daniel quiet?
Yeah, they're quite quiet, Daniel. I don't know why.
I missed the goal of the season.
You missed it.
Oh, I didn't, Gal. I didn't miss it. Believe me, I didn't miss it.
I finished work at 4, and I was like, "Oh my god, what's everyone talking about?" And then I look at it, I'm like, all I see is the goalkeeper jumping in the net. I was like, "What?"
Yeah. I think the Netherlands game was the one that said, "Yeah, the tournament's ready. We're ready."
Yeah, Malenko goal.
Yeah, the game was great. I think there's going to be a bit more of that in the round 2 of the group stages where it becomes teams become a little more desperate. Because I thought when we scored against Croatia, right, they're going to come out at us now. But they were like, nah, mate, we're just going to sit here, we'll maybe nick a goal, but we're quite comfortable. It's almost, I think because of this third place thing, teams have been quite happy to maybe lose 1-0. It almost feels like even tonight, Germany, they didn't go hell for leather for an equalizer. Really and truly, they kind of play conservative.
Because it's like they're playing for goal difference already in case they finish third.
Yeah, it's true. I think there's an element of that. So, what's been? Are we all in agreement? Best game so far?
Easily the Netherlands get far.
Yeah. No doubt. But was anybody sort of shocked by the Netherlands being as good as they were? I know they conceded 2 goals, but then one was a worldie. Because I thought they were quite good when a lot of people were writing them off in the build-up to the tournament. Or was it they were just playing?
It's a case of there's no balance in the team. Like, yeah, they were tackling, they were brilliant, but in defense, they were poor. They were poor defensively.
You see me, I was pleasantly surprised, and I say that because when you're a bad team, it's very easy to say, all right, we know we're not good enough, so we're going to sit back and defend and try and win on a set piece. Or you go the other way and just like, well, F it, this is attack. And it's like they're so bad that their only option was like, let's just keep going forward and hope something happens. And I prefer to see that because they're not going to win the tournament because they're not good enough. At least make it exciting. Don't go out with a whimper and you end up, we drew 2 games in the group and just go out and attack. And I think the way they started the game with Memphis going on that run, I was like, okay, cool. At least they're going to be entertaining, isn't it?
I feel like we're rewriting the history of what happened in this game. Frank de Boer messed it up. They were in control of the game. And Frank
he did. That was
hear me out. Hear me out. I'm not gonna let no one speak over me. Hear me out. My point is, he changed the defenders and he twinkled with the back three, and then it messed up the whole game. And that's when they started to get into
the mistakes that were made were by the defenders that were still on the pitch. De Vrij let Yarmolenko go, and no one closed him down. And Wout Weghorst didn't track his run.
Even then, someone scoring a 30-yarder, you can
exactly. You can't account for those things.
You need to still get close down, innit?
We saw a typical momentum thing. We saw that goal go in, and they towed up, and they literally had their body injected adrenaline, and it gave them that extra half a yard of speed. And it happens a lot in games that you just have those moments where one incident. I always remember a famous Champions League game. United, I think, were 2-0 down. I actually think it was the game against Juve. And no, they never show this in the replays, and it always annoys me. We were 2-0 down, 2 very early goals, and it was like we're going to go out. It's the famous Roy Keane night. And then there was a save. Just before the build-up to the corner that led to the goal, there was a save by Schmeichel that was out of this world. And you heard it waking up the Man United fans, and the team woke up from it. And that goal was obviously gotten back in the game, but I think it also woke the team up as well, which I think was great to see. And I'm looking forward to some more games like that. A lot of them have been a little bit cagey so far.
I was going to say, Terry, though, I think an underrated game was the Czech Republic-Scotland game. Despite, obviously, Scotland didn't get the win. Look, it was a fun game to watch. It was a fun game to watch. And Scotland had big, let's not even get to, they had big chances. The keeper was like,
what's the keeper doing?
He was on crazy. Like, the keeper, I think McGregor was, I don't know what he thought he was Neuer for a second, but I'm talking about the Czech Republic keeper. I think his name is Vasily or something like that.
He shouldn't have a chance though. Top strikers put them. Schick, his header bottom corner, no chance. That's the difference. But I thought first half were far too long ball in the first half. Like it worked, but we are acting like we've got championship midfielders. We've actually got good midfielders. Like McTominay didn't think of a great game. Armstrong was okay. McGinn probably when he's good for Scotland.
You'd agree with me. You'd start Billy Gilmour over McTominay.
100%, mate. And the reason I'd say Gilmour is the one thing we lacked is, see when our free centre halves had the ball, Gilmour will go short in that space and he'll take the ball in tight areas.
Attention, man.
You are shameless. No. No, see, I know. Obviously, Daniel knows what he's doing.
You have no shame. That won't happen against England. That won't happen against England.
In the defensive midfield position, I would agree. Start Gilmour over McTominay. But you don't just drop McTominay.
No, drop. I would have dropped McGregor. I would have dropped McGregor. I would have dropped McGregor and then have Armstrong would have came out the team because Armstrong was a surprise. But as I say, we created a lot of chances, but it looked like we could have been there. You said Germany couldn't score. We had the chances, but oh my God, every chance it seemed to go further away from the goal. And the keeper was good, but I mean, that chance for Dykes, it's at him. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if he's...
Yeah. And then when Patrick Schick's doing that on his weak foot, it's ridiculous.
No, I was arguing with someone today about that.
One of the questions I was thinking about asking for this round one roundup was, what was the goal of this round of games? There's no point asking it because and the goalkeeper, mate. Honestly, I thought he was doing the old "I would walk 500 miles." What was he doing that far out of his goal? Like, I can't believe it.
I think it's because he's not got the legs anymore, so he's trying to play super keeper, so he's pushed up higher. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's the first keeper to do that. I feel like the finish is unbelievable. It's like it doesn't go over him; it actually goes around him. Like the more you watch it go,
he would have had a better chance if he tried to attack the ball.
Possibly, mate. But it was like a split second.
He had no chance of getting back to the net. He had a better chance.
You can't attack the ball. It went straight in.
No. I mean, relax. I'm not saying go jump at the ball. I'm saying go try to clear the ball because the ball was being passed.
Get in there.
He had a split
How
decision.
clear the ball where?
Keeper's going to come Usain Bolt and
He was never
sprint
gonna
half
get
the
back to
pitch in
net.
5 seconds.
In fairness,
never
though,
gonna get back to his
in fairness, though, no, he did the keeper did the right thing because most of those shots from distance never go in. They don't. So,
It is a 1 in a million shot. Like I was arguing with someone today. Like, come on, it's not like people were saying. It's not like he's chipped the keeper. He's actually hit it outside. It's an unbelievable finish. And the thing is, the centre back has a shot, right? So people try to blame the centre back for having a shot. But he's 25 yards out. He's hit the bar at the start of Jack Henry. He's hit it. It's hit off the foot of the defender and rolled perfectly to sheet. That will never happen again. It's unbelievable.
I said to my dad, "What's this great goal?" My dad afterwards was like, "Oh, I thought the great goal was going to be the Scottish lad having a shot."
I know.
How unlucky it was. It went for.
It was unlucky. It was. It's 1 in a million. It's game by percentages, guys. Come on. And I was like,
I love it.
It was an unbelievable goal.
It happened to the Scots, though, so it couldn't have happened to a nicer bunch of people.
Not been in a tournament for 23 years and then someone scores for their own half. You couldn't write it. You actually couldn't write it. Honestly.
I was all up for supporting the home nation. And then I saw all these Scotland fans at the game with Maradona 86 on their backs. And I'm like, I ain't having it, mate. I ain't having it. Like, rivalry's coming out now.
That's too much effort. That's too going to a shop, getting that top. That's too much effort for
proper,
that.
mate. Proper. I want to ask about England quickly before we go to most impressive teams.
3 lines on the shirt.
Absolutely. Good start from England. Tough game against Croatia. What I love before the game, it was, I know where you're beating them. They're too good for you. We beat them and it's like, they're washed. That tells me England did okay straight away. It's like, okay, they were having it. What did you make, Dan? Like, what have you made of England's start to this tournament? And do you expect to see many changes before we play the Jocks on Friday?
No, I actually expect to see the same team. In terms of the performance, I think it was 15, 20 minutes, England were on it. Like, I actually thought England could lose the game because they didn't get a goal in that first period, because they were so excellent. Like, they were on them. They were just quicker than them. It was a bit like the Chelsea Real Madrid thing, where it was just a leggy midfield against like high energy, exuberant guys. Croatia couldn't really stick. Like, Modric was trying to dictate the game, but it just wasn't working. But yeah, man, in terms of England, though, I was really impressed, man. I was really impressed. Guys who there were a lot of question marks about. Tyrone Mings, for one, definitely. He impressed me. Calvin Phillips. I thought Southgate, who I criticise, and I still will every single day of the week, he got it spot on tactically, letting Calvin Phillips kind of have a free roaming type of midfield job, which I haven't seen in the warm-up games. That's why we've been criticising him, because we've only seen Calvin Phillips as like a holder with Declan Rice. I do think... So England will be fine in this group. I do think, though, when it comes to ball progression against the better teams, though, Declan Rice needs to do a better job in showing for the ball. I think he didn't show for the ball enough. I thought Pickford was going long quite a fair bit. Kane won't have a worse game than this game, in my opinion. I think he was just getting up to speed as well. So it was good to get a win when your best player wasn't even fully fit or he wasn't firing. But yeah, man, and it's good. Sterling got his goal, man. Had a poor season. Still got double-digit goals, but had a poor season performance-wise, and he's got his goal. He will be confident as well. But yeah, man, like, England, I guess, will be fine. I still see them going out in the quarters, but yeah, man, England did well. They did well.
Yeah, no, I thought that. And how about yourself, Conroy? Obviously, you're playing us on Friday. Do you feel confident going up against England at Wembley, or is it just, or does it feel like a bit of a free hit?
See, the thing is, right, I know it's really hard and it's easy to say it's because it's through my eyes, but a lot of people yesterday were saying Scotland are a poor team, and honestly, the most annoying thing yesterday is we do have a better team than maybe yesterday showed. I know we created chances, but we have got players who can be brave in the ball and be confident. I just feel like this is going to be ironic as anything, but see the formation we played yesterday, I feel like that's what we should have played against England, and yesterday it should have been slightly different, because using a Dykes and going long ball and maybe having a Adams instead of a Christie, I think that's maybe a better chance to get in England, because a Dykes and a Adams are just going to cause the back 4 or 5, probably be a 4, it'll make it a battle. And I'll be perfectly honest, that's the only way I see Scotland winning or getting something is making a battle. You need to make that England defence earn it. And I think most people would say that's probably the logical way to go at it. But I've said this 100 times. If England turn up, like really turn up, the quality's there. The only thing I would say, this might be controversial, but I would rather Sterling starts than a Grealish or a, for me, I can see a Grealish destroying. Whereas a Sterling, yes, he's fast and his movement's great, but I feel like you can get into Sterling. He might have a poor game. Like if he starts poor, it might affect him. Whereas I feel like Grealish will just wind our defence down, especially if we play a 5 at the back. It's not going to be Stephen O'Donnell at right back. It'll probably be James Forrest or Ryan Fraser. So they're not notoriously great defensively anyway. So it'll be interesting. But I feel like, I'll be honest, mate, even if we play well, I think you'll just have enough. Even if we play well and it's a close match, I think you'll win 1-0. It'll be one of them. It'll be like, oh, people will be giving Scotland credit, but England have won. I think you'll have too much, to be honest. I was more confident before yesterday, but that was a okay Czech team with a good striker, and we created stuff, and look what happened. So it's not going to be a miracle, but we need a lot to go in our favour to get anything from England.
Yeah, it'll be carnage if you do, though. I mean, doing it at Wembley as well. Is Tierney back? Do you know?
It's so in the post match, it was basically very ambiguous. Steve Clarke just went, well, we're not. It was like he basically just said we're not 100%. It's 50-50. Basically said, so he could be, but I don't know if he's just saying that to make Southgate or England. I'm not sure you'd worry about our third centre half, but he's maybe saying it for that reason. Don't get me wrong, Liam Cooper done decent, but Tierney's a different animal, because when we've got Tierney, it's equivalently like, I know everyone keeps saying it now because it's fashionable, but it's like Sheffield United last season, because you've got Robertson pushing higher and it allows Tierney to kind of the underlapping or overlapping centre-back. So when he gets it, he's, as Gal would say, Tierney's the best at left-back for beating players one-on-one, I'd say. Robertson, in my opinion, is the best, but he's the best at beating players. So I feel like that works perfectly, but that'll be a big miss. But I feel like he might not be fit enough.
Conrad, don't massage his ego.
What I say
don't massage his ego.
No, Tierney's been very good for Scotland.
He's the best at just shaking and baking people. Like, he'll get you. Stop.
I agree with that. He does it for Scotland a lot. He does it for Scotland a lot. Can't lie.
I don't know what you guys call it over here. What do you guys call it when in football terminology? But for me,
Chicken and jiving.
Never heard that in my lifetime.
No, the proper phrase, the proper phrase is, yeah. So I'm going to say something. That's not to say it.
Drop the shoulders. Drop the shoulders. That's what I thought it'd be.
Yeah. No, I was going to tell you something. You know, like you do these things on work experience where you send someone for a long way. I was going to throw in like that. It's cool ducking and diving.
Go and get a sky hook.
I want to see a guy on the stream said a wrong thing. It'd be funny. Man like KJ is here. How you doing, bro?
Yo. Hey, man like PP's also all right at football.
Who is this? Is this the Portugal hater? Yeah, man.
Anyway. Oh, we're here talking about Scotland, England.
Well, we're reviewing the first round, and it's good that you've come in because KJ came on earlier, and the Portuguese team won 3-0, and KJ called for the managers to be sacked.
Nah, I agree.
KJ's got standards, mate. He's not messing about. He's not messing about.
That is the dodge 3-0. That is the dodgiest 3-0 I've seen in a long time. That was
apparently
nowhere near 3-0.
They played a double pivot of Danilo Pereira and William Carvalho.
Yeah, they did.
They didn't play Renato Sanchez.
No, bro. And that's why it was 0-0 for like 83 minutes, my brother.
Yeah, man said solidify the back.
Yeah.
And let the forward deal with the thing.
What are you solidifying the back for?
I'm telling you now, yeah, he purposefully said, we're gonna win it in 85 minutes, Ronaldo. So just wait, and then you'll get your goal.
I swear, I remember. I distinctly remember. I feel like I'm deja vu. I swear this happened before with Portugal.
They didn't win a game, something like that.
They drew Hungary. Hungary. Yeah, they went behind twice against Hungary because Juszak scored for Hungary.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about an international friendly or something. He was on stream, and I was again cussing the Portuguese manager, bro. And everyone was saying the same thing. Oh, he meant to wear them down. He knew what he's doing, bro. Listen.
Be honest with you, KJ.
After the tournament, get him gone, bro.
Be honest with you, KJ. You just sound like an Ollie Outer. To be fair.
I am, bro. When it comes
Man,
to
won
international
3-0
football,
and you're moaning. It's amazing. Nah, it's amazing.
KJ, the man has won 2 of the last 3 international tournaments. And you're telling me Stacky?
Are we counting Nations League, really?
Nations
League. I don't make the rules. I don't make the tournament. He won the last 3.
You know what? He has. And that's good for him. 4 years ago? That's nice.
He won the Nations League 2 years ago.
We're in 2021 now. And listen, after this tournament, it's time to go. And
he's got a World Cup to win, bro, next year.
Probably coming United anyway. Probably coming United.
Yeah, Man United. That'd be hilarious. In terms of teams so far that's been look, we're one round through games. Who's been the team? I'll go to Egal first. And which nation has stood out so far where you've gone, yeah, you look serious? Barring France for you. France.
Italy.
Good shout.
I did not expect Italy to be doing what they did to Turkey, especially with the Turkey team that was getting so much hype. A little bit from myself too, so I'll take that, and I'll be like,
a lot of it.
Yeah, I know. So Italy scoring 3 goals. Immobile, what's his name? Insigne. I struggle saying his name, and then that whole defense, just how solid they are and how they haven't conceded too many goals in a long time. I could see them just going the whole tournament, just getting their ticking away with the mixture of old players that they have, veterans like Chiellini and Bonucci, to the youngsters that they have in the team that are 20 years old. It's just a perfect mix that you have. It's kind of crazy.
Sorry, I've got a message off of our new journalist that's joining the Done Deal show on Thursday. Midfield update for Arsenal. Wow. But I will be revealing that on Thursday morning. So
that was not a good wow either.
Wow.
Wow.
It is a very good wow. It's a very good wow for Arsenal. Let me just I was like, oh, okay. Cheers, Pete. Thank you. Anyway. Yeah, Italy. Who else has stood out? Who else you stood out and gone, actually?
Can I throw in because everyone's going to be saying the big names. You know what? You know who impressed me? Slovakia against Poland. I was very impressed. Defensively, were solid. They attacked well, and for a nation that's only got a few names in there to come against a Poland team which everyone thought they would lose to, I was like, you know what? Yeah, that was a good start. That was a very good start for them. I don't think they'll go and blitz the
Poland got a red card in it, so I don't know. It's hard to judge.
But they were better than them.
Of course.
Already.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, look, it's gonna sound cliche, but I think I like Belgium's chances. I think when you got Lukaku, who's probably one of the best strikers in the world right now. I mean,
he looks so sharp as well, Daniel. Looks so sharp as well.
Man, he looks so sharp. Like that's what you want from your striker, just to be. He can score all types of goals as well. It was great to see Hazard, just a few glimpses here and there of what he could be capable of. But now, man,
Pogba's really a good player.
Dorgan is great, man. I know he's great.
What do you mean by that?
I also think, even though they didn't win, I thought Switzerland they'll shock a few people, providing they make it through. That's the only problem. I think they'll beat Turkey. I do think they actually, but based on their first games, I think Switzerland will beat Turkey, and I see them being quite a tough team to get around.
Because they'll definitely be a tough team to beat, but I want them gone quickly because they're not good to watch. I don't enjoy.
I know they're not great to watch, but like from what I saw from the Wales game, they had a lot of things that you would say if this can all come together in the right game, you can shock a team. Like if you put Switzerland up against Portugal, they could shock that team.
1-0.
Yeah, like a 1-0 or a 2-0.
Did they beat Spain at World Cup a few years back?
Yeah, 1-0. First game World Cup.
Yeah, you know the two teams you just mentioned, Switzerland and Belgium. It just goes to show in international football, tournament football, P&P is king in that. You know what I'm saying? Now we saw some Sweden with Isaac as well. Like we saw some beautiful P&P displays, fam.
Isaac's got feet. I didn't know Isaac had feet like that. He was doing samba.
He was in the mud for a split second.
I test one very near.
When I see it, he looks. Do you know what? I didn't know how good he was because I don't watch him play, but I assumed he had something about him because eye test merchants wouldn't rate him if he wasn't techie. Does that make sense? Like he knew he was going to be, but this is how mad eye test is. He this morning saying I won. I'm like, bruv, you said he was better than Haaland. It's not that. It's not like no one said. If you'd have come on and said, "I really think Isak's a good striker," and some teams should look at him, we'd have all gone, "Okay, cool." Your statement was he's better than Haaland, and that's why everyone said you were mad. Like it's crazy. Listen, he looked good. Sweden. Do you know what? He's mad.
Oh my days.
He didn't score a goal. He played well, but like,
Do you remember the guarantee? The guarantee would have come in big clutch, you know. The big clutch.
Yeah, I thought he did well in the game. What he did, in fairness, like I look at England. England impressed me, and I know we've spoken about it already. But I kind of do. I think we can beat France in a one-off game. Yeah, I do. I think that we can beat them. Will we? And do you know what's mad with football fans? It's like saying you can do something is taken into, oh, you said you will do it. I would give us, if we played them 10 times, I think we can beat them once, maybe twice. And the thing with tournament football is that can happen. But we're better than I look. I'm just interested to see how we move on from this point. If I look at all the teams, Italy and France have impressed me the most. And then I kind of put sort of Belgium, England, and there was one other team that stood out to me. Below that, and I can't remember who they were now. Portugal. Actually, I would then put in that kind of.
Not impressed by Portugal. I'm sorry.
Just put Renato Sanchez in, man. Then
I was with Portugal because, yeah, they can make some chip. But this was their. Got to remember, this is their easiest game in the group first, rather than their hardest game first. I think tonight's team was looked at as we're not. Why waste the legs? Why waste the legs of all our better players for Hungary when we've got Germany and France to come? I think it was strategic. So you were going to say something, Neeks?
Yeah, I want Portugal. I mean, it's like you haven't watched Portugal in the last 5 years. It's like you're expecting Fernando Santos, one second, KJ, to come out and play this total Johan Cruyff football. It was never going to happen.
No, but he played.
I'm not expecting. KJ, let me go. He might have two defensive midfielders for a reason, because he was like, if we win this game 1-0, that's job done. Portugal are a job done kind of team, and I think they can go far because they got a solid defense. Now, granted, Hungary could have scored with an offside goal, but other than that, you're not really going to breach them. And if you've got players like Ronaldo, Jota, and the other forwards, all you need is one goal and you can win a game. And I think that's the way Santos is going to play with Portugal.
Here's my thing. I'm not discrediting what he's done with them. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like what he did with that squad was amazing, and they needed him to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because of the squad that they had, he weren't the greatest, and everyone said he was a shock. But my thing is, like, now your team has evolved in terms of squad selection. Against these teams like Hungary, you've got to evolve too. Like, he didn't need to play 2 DMs, and you saw.
I agree.
But they almost scored 5 goals.
I agree, KJ. He didn't have to, but he kind of showed his hand, and I think in the sense that this is what I'm about, and I ain't changing it for nobody. And I think their defense and their 2 DMs is going to be difficult for anyone, including France, to break down. Pepe is a good damn player. Diaz, Guerrero, unfortunately missing Cancelo, but they're going to be tough. They're going to be tough to break down.
And once again, we're rewriting history. They could have scored 5 goals this game.
But Hungary also had chances as well.
The first moment you had a moment where he could have squared the ball to Ronaldo, and then the next moment you had Ronaldo miss sitter. So they could have easily had 5 goals.
Yeah, the thing is, they didn't take those chances, and then throughout the game, they was making it so much more difficult for themselves.
Yeah, they got worse as the game went on.
They got worse as the game got. Yeah, they were. But as a football fan watching, I'm sitting there looking at the manager like, bro, you need to make the changes. And okay, cool, he got them in, and he changed the game, and they did win the game in the end. But I'm looking at sitting there like, I don't think this will be good for the rest of the tournament. And hey, listen, if it goes pretty wrong, it does. But if he comes up against a Germany who are firing and a France who are firing, I think they could struggle.
Do you know what I'm desperate for though when it comes to Portugal? Because we haven't seen one for a couple of years. I'm looking forward to seeing the William Carvalho links to one of our midfielders.
I've already said that Patrick Schick is probably going to Arsenal for like 50 mil. And
something could happen.
So who's next? Is it Portugal, Germany next, or is it Portugal,
Yeah,
France?
Portugal,
next?
Germany.
That game, you learn a lot from that game.
Nil,
It's
mate.
interesting.
Nil.
No, I'm worried for that game because the way that they play football is actually like it's designed to beat Germany, and Germany ain't going to score against a deep block.
Would Goretzka be fit enough?
Damn.
I don't even think he was picked. You know, I don't think he was picked.
No, I think he's not fit. Goretzka.
I don't think he was picked
Yeah.
because of his injury.
No,
Right.
injured. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think.
Harry,
He was
how many points are you on?
We're going to take a look here at the league table, and we're going to see when people arrive in this. So it's after the first round of games. Currently, Legends United are top on 92 points, which is well done to you so far. Where's the first one of us, though? Where's the first football territory?
Did anyone have Ronaldo?
Scrolling for me, mate.
Did anyone have Ronaldo?
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
I was asking, did anyone have Ronaldo?
I had Ronaldo.
Oh, okay,
I
you
don't
did.
think I'm in this league.
So let's
Okay,
go
I'm-
down here. So
I'm
hang on a sec. Just one sec, bro. One sec. We'll go through it. We want to see where people are. Let's spot somebody first. Where are we at here? I ain't seen none of our panelists are on this list yet. Look at this. We're getting absolutely pammed by the viewers here.
If you had Radecki and Munier, then you bagged.
Wait, where am I? I should be.
I've got 62 points.
Yo,
I've got
Terry,
62
why don't you
points.
just
Sorry.
ask us to go look where we are and then tell you?
Yeah, do that. That'll work. That'll work.
Because there's
I think I've got more points than that, or has it not updated?
I've got 62. So
It hasn't updated. Maybe it hasn't updated yet from in terms of the leagues from earlier. So that'll put you a little bit higher. But there's the league table, people. Obviously, it's got to change still. There's so much more to go. My team is doing average. I should have picked my own team and not the team that you guys all picked for me because
Oh my God! Look at your bench.
I gave you Kufal, bro. I gave you.
Why is Ronaldo on the bench?
why is he on the bench? Because I subbed in Kimmich to play today.
What do you?
Why didn't you could have taken out the
Oh,
pie?
Terry, where's Ferran Torres?
Oh,
the guarantee.
that makes me lose my points, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm a dickhead. See, I don't know how to play. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you sub out the ones who got the lowest points as possible.
I didn't really think when I
You
clicked
should
on
have
it. I
subbed out
won't be-
Memphis Depay.
there we go. Well, anyway,
You live and you learn, innit? You live and you learn.
you live and you learn. What I will say about it is, I am not really bothered. I mean, it's
Yeah.
What
I
are we
mean,
gonna do now? Are you gonna do the limitless chip, and we're gonna reset the whole thing?
again, you're talking to me like I understand. Well,
Wrong man, innit?
Okay, it's like you know when you have that, game shows and you're given a life. It's one of those lives that you're given.
Yeah, Miguel. He does not understand, nor does he care. Like that. Those two things together.
He wants to be a millionaire. You know how you get phone a friend? It's basically one of those type of lifelines.
okay, cool.
Lifeline, yeah.
Yeah.
And 42 lads. Let's go.
Yeah, because you got Dan James, bro.
It is. You know, I got 40 points and I subbed off half mine. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing all right. Really. I'm doing all right. We'll have a little. Everyone's make sure you get your transfers. You got to get your transfers done. Though maybe we should do some transfers now, though. Actually, because we can now, can't we?
You can only do
Boy, that
When the points update. Oh yeah, you can. You can.
But you can do it now. You can.
So I've got to get rid of Cancelo.
Get rid of
He's not in the tournament anymore, is he? He's
No, he's not.
He's out. So he's gone. Who am I going to put in?
Pepe.
Robin
Terry,
goes.
do you want to
Robin
change one of the
goes.
two players? Because then you can do the whole limitless thing right now.
Why are you forcing him to do this limitless thing when
So,
he might
take
want
it
The
down.
reason why I'm saying you do it now is because you have a choice to pick any player with no price.
Igal, the limitless, is that just one player or is it the whole team?
The whole team, unlimited price.
It's
could have a-
okay.
you
So
could
it's
have a
like
team with Kane,
but Igal,
Sterling.
does it revert back to your team the next game week?
The next game we can reverse back to your
And then
original
you can
team.
use your wild card.
The reason why it's good you use this now is because it's only for 1 week and you have unlimited money. This is the most that you can utilize that unlimited chip, because right now is when all the big players are playing. Week 3, there's going to be major rest.
They're gonna change.
I think we need to get a France player.
Thank you, Agal. I'll take that on board. And
Igal
Mine's
legit
already active.
lives and breathes fantasy.
he lives it, bro. He lives it.
Yeah,
Well,
We know he lives in the fantasy world. we know, brother.
you picked the limitless chip already.
Have I?
No, you haven't.
I know.
The moment you add another player, you're gonna lose points.
No, but he has,
the way Terry says,
yeah.
the way Terry went, oh no, it was like, bro, you're saying words. I don't know.
So
what you
yeah, you want Terry, you want Italy players, maybe some Belgium.
I think you want some
players.
France players, man. France are playing
Terry,
Hungary next.
Terry, put it up. Use the unlimited. Use the limitless chip.
All right. I've used it.
Okay. and now you can have any player. You're limited, unlimited amount of money.
You should have just called it a Gal second team, to be honest.
So I can have any player I want.
Any player you want in the world. Get rid of all your whole team. There's no budget.
So I can just go and get Ronaldo now.
Yeah, you can get Ronaldo. You can get
Terry,
Pogba.
I would
get
suggest
two
get
world-class
Mbappe. Get Mbappe because they're playing Hungary.
Yes.
You know what? Yeah. You know what I'm gonna do. Yeah. You know what we're gonna do. We'll kick everyone out. Let old man Terry pick his team. And then we can start cussing him afterwards. All right. Cool. All right.
That ain't even fair. Right. So I'm gonna put in Ronaldo because I'm just gonna be I'm just gonna go with what I think and feel, right? This dude can get out, right? No, he's gone already. So in that position, we know I'm gonna go and pick, right? I'm just gonna pick who I wanted to pick first time round. And I'm not listening to anybody else. I'm going to do what I want. Where's my man? There he is. There's Bruno Fernandes. He's going into this team. I know Genie scored the other day, but he's already cost me 6 points and he did play for Liverpool. So he can stay. Kimmich can go fuck himself because he's been playing. He's going to be put in defense. Who's got lots of points? See, I don't trust that the silver dude is going to do much better moving forward, right? So I'm going to go down the list a little bit. Who am I looking at here? Well, I think it's going to do something important. Who's going to do something good? I don't know. I have to admit, I don't know who any of these players are. I'm joking. Oh, Elmo, no. It's a hard one, actually. Spain don't score goals. Yuri Tillemans, you know. Nah, I'm just going to go for the most expensive. Who's got the most points? No, I don't know what to do. Decisions while I'm sitting here on the internet. What do viewers think? Viewers, what are you all telling me here? Viewers, what do you reckon? Okay. Anyway, I saw a comment there and I didn't want to read it out. Right, what we say? Who should I go for? Who should I put in the middle here? KDB. KDB's a good shout. I tell you who I might put in though. Actually, is he classed as a forward or a midfielder? I was looking for Eden Hazard. Is he going to start balling Eden Hazard later on in the tournament? So maybe we should throw Eden Hazard in. You know, just throw Eden Hazard in for a laugh. That'd be good. Let's go to the defense now. Right. Yes, he got an assist the other day, Kufal, but I'm still going to get rid of him. All right, let's get rid of these, get defenders up. See, you can go, right? Defenders. I don't want building defenders. I want all defenders. Who are we going to go with? Guerrero. He's only got them points because he scored. And I do understand the concept that I don't get the point just because I put them in. But I'm actually going to throw in Hernandez from there. I'm going to keep Spinazzola in. He really impressed me first round. This dude, I don't even know who he is, so he can go. Guerrero can go in because he gets forward. He gets forward. In goal, Cashbart. Sorry, mate. I'm not going to say anything bad, but you're off. Who are we going to throw in here? No, not the Finnish goalkeeper. Can't have him. We've got to go for a good one who ain't going to concede a lot. Lloris ain't barely going to concede. And then bench-wise, what should we do on this bench real quick? Right? Let's get rid of this dude. This is just... Why don't they just do this from the start of the game? Why don't they just do it from the start of the game? Let you make 1 week and make it... Just pricks. Why? What's the point? I actually feel like I'm cheating. You know, like when you used to play Football Manager and you'd take over, make like 4 or 5 new users and you take over lots of teams and you'd buy all their best players and you'd make them spend hundreds of millions of pounds on a reserve kid. Remember, you all did that, right? Or is it just me? Suddenly I had like 500 million pounds in the bank. You win everything. It's pointless. I did that a lot. Right. Who am I going to put in goal? I'm going to put Pickford in goal for a laugh, right? And then get rid of... Imagine having Rondon at the back, right? We're going back to defenders now. Let's just pick the best defenders we can. Let's go with Dumfries. I liked him the other day. I know he missed a chance, but he gets forward. He's not really a defender. Next defender we're going to throw into the old mix is we're going to throw in... They're not going to concede a lot of goals, are they? So I'm going to go with Chiellini. And then midfield-wise, we're going to throw one more midfielder in. Let's do it again. And do you know what? Let's just throw Raheem Sterling in for a bubble, mate. Let's throw Raheem Sterling in for a bubble. I think he'll have a good tournament now that he scored. That's me. I'm done. What do I do now? Press. What do I do? Igal?
Press submit. Press submit.
Where's the submit button? Sorry, next.
Or next.
Confirm transfers.
Yes.
Boom. There we go.
Right, now we all can come in and have our 2 pence on these decisions. Poor Terry, man. Got bare people shouting at him. You can barely hear. He's getting old now.
Okay, Terry. First thing, take all the players who are playing on the last day, so Ronaldo and Lucas Hazard, and put them Lucas Hernandez, and put them on the bench.
Okay.
So if you want to rotate a player in, you're rotating in a player who plays on the last day, and you only rotate them in for a player who's played terrible.
But don't take them out once they've got their points.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll take out the ones with the lowest
you would
points.
put Lloris in for Pickford. You can rotate 4. You can do 4 substitutions. So make all your players that are playing on the last day on the bench.
Okay, so Sterling should then go in for, say, Bruno Fernandes, because he's gonna.
Yes.
Okay.
And if Sterling doesn't do well, you got your favorite midfielder to come play after. If anyone else
I get now how it works. I understand. Terry didn't put Pogba in, because I don't think Pogba's going to assist in the score too much with the position he's playing. I've gone for players.
To be safe, the first day Italy's playing, so make Insigne the captain just in case he scores 2 goals and gets a clean sheet.
Or Spinazzola.
And then if he doesn't do well, you switch him for Kane or Lukaku. And then on the final day, if they don't do well, you switch them for Ronaldo.
Terry, if you or Igal don't win, will you feel like you've been lied to by Igal?
Yes.
I'll still feel like I don't care, but yes, I'll pretend that I'm heartbroken by it. That's what we'll do. Listen, everyone who's tuned in this evening, thank you very much indeed. Make sure like buttons are being hit and all that jazz. That was great. I literally felt like I was about 60 years. You know when like old people look at an iPhone like that. That's how I felt doing that live on the air as well. It wasn't humiliating at all. Terry, I got my dad watching your show. He said the reason Spurs fans aren't calling into your show is Spurs fans are so depressed that they can't bring themselves to be seen without bags on their heads.
He's funny.
That's true. My dad won't even come around for Father's Day. Legit, well, different reasons, really. Yeah, can't leave his dog. When dogs get a bit old, he's like, I can't leave it alone all day by itself. And I said, bring it here. He's like, nah, because when we go to the restaurant, it will eat your house. And I'm like, yeah, well, they ain't doing that then. Do you know what I mean? Jeez. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon.